Welcome to episode 2. My name's KB. Did you watch my first video yet? My first YouTube video ever? Go watch that and then come back to this one. Let me know your thoughts. I'm stuck in Atlanta traffic, so what better way to be productive than to make another video? Driving safely, of course. I just came from Lenox Mall. I haven't been there in a while, just to do some inspirational visualization of what's going on out there, what's in the market, things like that. Me and one of my friends, Jarrell, we used to do that back in the day. Just go to different stores and visualize the materialistic items we can have, potentially achieve in the future. But enough about that. Oh, now one more thing about that. I went to the Canada Goose store. They had some nice stuff in there, and of course Nordstrom's, a couple of other stores. But it's one of those days. It's a beautiful day. When I walked into the Canada Goose store, they had one young lady who worked there from Michigan, African American, and another young lady from Beijing. Atlanta's an international city. Young lady from Beijing named Geki. I forgot the other girl's name, but when I first came in there, she was just like, of course I think they're on their salesman thing, so they have to compliment you, but she was just like, I'm feeling your outfit, your whole style, you know what I'm saying? This is the girl from Beijing. I was like, appreciate that, real recognizes real. But now they have this 100% merino wool jacket in there. It's about $650. That's really nice. So I might have to check that out at some point. But priorities first. Just moved into a new house in March and paying off some debt right now. I want zero debt going into 2026 before I do any nice trips, buy anything. I'm tired of credit cards. But let's get into this video right quick. Won't make it as long as that first video. While I'm out again in where am I? On Peachtree Street in front of Cafe Intermezzo in Atlanta on a beautiful Saturday. We're blessed to be alive, aren't we? So many health issues people are having out here. And I'll mention it again like I did in the first video. D'Angelo just passed. And then just a long list of not only African American men, but men and women in general of all races passing away. We're getting attacked from, of course, cancer. There's just so many types of cancer. And we're just getting attacked on so many fronts, from our food, from the air we breathe, the environment, EMFs, radiation, the computers, the phones, the cars we drive, the clothes we wear. Lots been coming out about that recently with the materials we wear, all the fake or man-made. Fake isn't even a good word for it anymore. Polyester, rayon, nylon. These things have an effect not only physically on your body, because our skin is our biggest organ, and we're taking in these things that we wear, and these plastics. But not only physically, if you do some research on YouTube or excuse me, Google or ChatGPT these days, there's research now showing the effects on the energy levels or the electrical component to how some of these fabrics affect our body. So I know I have a lot of polyester, not a lot, but several shorts, pants, shirts. And as I move into 2026, you don't have to do what I do. This could all be jibber jabber to you. But again, this is an esoteric thing. Everybody's not going to feel what I say or appreciate what I say. But in 2026, one of my goals is to convert my closet to linens, cottons, wools, clothes made from hemp. Everything, by the end of 2026, everything in my closet has to be natural, because we can't continue to blame the environment when the knowledge is out there, the information is out there. I mean, not to get talking about alcohol is like talking about race or religion or politics with some of you people. Oh, alcohol, come on, everything in moderation. No, not everything in alcohol is a killer. So if you drink that, I ain't even gonna say drink it in moderation. Stop drinking it. But you have all these other environmental factors: clothes, the air we breathe, EMFs, smoke, the food that we eat from the big corporations, research all the seeds and all that stuff. And then on top of that, you're drinking alcohol every day. And then some of you are still smoking cigarettes in 2025. People still smoking cigarettes. They tell you on the package what it is. You've seen several hundreds of people, many of your faves, your celebrities dying because of cigarette smoke. And then I see a 20-year-old, 25-year-old walking around smoking a cigarette. You might as well just put it down and just come over here and let me punch you in your face, or let somebody inject some crack in your arms. How are you still smoking cigarettes in 2025? Thank goodness my dad stopped in his 30s. And me even seeing that, as a kid, I thought smoking cigarettes was cool. Him and all his other co-workers and friends. My dad is a retired federal DEA drug agent, so he was, back in the day, you go to people's houses on the weekends. Those are your friends, play cards, they drank and they smoked, listen to music, or watch the fight, Ali's next fight, Larry Holmes, back in the day. And everybody smoked, but my dad stopped, I never asked him why he stopped, but obviously he came to the realization that this ish is killing people. So at the end of the day, guys, we got to do a better job. A couple of my close friends have just revealed to me, I just found out last week, that he's dealing with high blood pressure. And my other good friend, my college roommate, who's going to be moving to Bmore soon, he's been dealing with it for a couple years now. So I'm not neither, I would say, are overweight, but maybe on the heavy side. So I'm not sure, I haven't done my research into high blood pressure, but I believe it's a combination of weight, diet, what you're eating, stress. So if you're in your 40s or 50s and you're already getting early signs of high blood pressure or pre-diabetes and all these things that come into light, you got to make a change now. Otherwise, things are just going to continue to spiral. And when you're in 60s and 70s, I mean, it's a wrap. Aren't you trying to live long into your late 80s, 90s, 100s? People say, nah, I don't want to live that long, live a good life. Sure, I want to enjoy it while I'm mobile. But you're supposed to be mobile forever. You got into this, we as a people, as Americans here, wow, I use the word Americans. I've never used that before. I'm trying to be more general to the masses. But we Americans here in the US of A tend to think that living till you're 65 or 75 is a good life. After that, you're supposed to be all decrepit and cataracts, can't see, erectile dysfunction, a couple of toes cut off from diabetes. We think that's normal. Fat, overweight. Nah, I don't accept that. Don't accept that. As I told a couple of my close friends back in the day, I may get older, grayer, but I'm always gonna stay in shape. I'm always gonna try to present myself well, not only at home, but when I go out in public. And my main mantra is, since my late teens, is I told myself I will never fall off. Now I might get older, but I'm not gonna get sloppy and lackadaisical and not keep up with my hygiene and my health and trying to stay fit. I know a lot of us deal with maybe not less than positive upbringings and surroundings, and so I know there are several factors that contribute to maybe falling off, or something you go through with a boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse. And maybe I'll get into this another video. I don't want to drag on too long, but I'm just talking about overall health, and I guess this is more about mental health. But you got to stay positive, and positive, I don't even know if it's the word, and happy's not the word. It's just hopeful. And you got to be strict with yourself. Nobody else is going to be strict with you. You got to be an inspiration to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, your children. You got to be inspiration. You can't be walking around like, oh yeah, I hate my job. Oh, I'm addicted to food, chocolate. You got to tell yourself, I will never fall off. I will never fall off. When you start a relationship with a young woman or a young man, and you get married, or you're just together, you're not married, but you've been there together for 5-10 years or whatever, or more. The groceries they bought when they met you, when they saw you, when he or she used to look at you with that awness, like, damn. Try to keep that going in the relationship. Don't get fat 2 years later. Don't start smoking cigarettes 3 years later. Don't start being active. Stop being active. Now I'm behind a garbage truck, so hopefully that noise isn't too loud. In the city. Sitting pretty in the city. But yeah, you want to tell yourself I'm not gonna fall off, but the person that you're with, don't become corny, don't become whack. It's not a good look. Be an inspiration. But anyway, to sum this up, you got to do better. Learn about herbs. Learn about dandelion, sarsaparilla, bladderwrack, soursop, black seed oil. If we're getting hit with all these environmental factors that we deal with on a day-to-day basis in our foods and the electronics we use and our clothing, we have to combat that with something. I mean, part of that, of course, is eating right. I'm a vegan. Some people are on keto. Some people are pescatarian. I ain't even gonna tell you to be vegan. You know, that's a whole nother thing. But I was inspired by my daughter to do that in 2016. And even with that, you know, the more you learn about it, you can't eat processed vegan food, because you can still get fat or become unhealthy eating the processed stuff. But find your lane. Eat organic, eat natural, eat off the farm, find a local farm, grow your own food. We got to do things to combat what we're being fed or dealt with today. Oh my goodness. Lady just crossed the street with the down south ATL booty shorts. First of all, everybody can't pull that off. Second of all, even if you can pull that off, young ladies, what kind of signal are you putting out there when you got your cheeks showing? Yeah, sometimes I get into these tangents, but learn, do your research, keep the body movement, study centenarians. I did some research on people that live over the age of 100 in different countries. There's certain pockets in different countries where there's plenty of these. Learn what they talk about. Some of the key points I took from that, and then again I'll let you go. But I think it's a good jewel is to always move. Whether that's dancing, a lot of them talked about dancing, so yes, dance. Whether that's Tai Chi, whether that's walking, working out, keep the body moving, always. How come we're moving in our teens and 20s and 30s and, then you go get a corporate job and, you look at some of the parents, stiff as a brick, just barely moving. Go from the car to the house to the couch to the bed and get no working out, no walking, no jogging, no dancing. I think it's more to dancing than just the body movement too. You can't be mad when you're dancing. It's hard to be upset or dwelling on problems when you're dancing. I think that's a lot. I'm getting chills just talking about dancing. We've been doing a lot more dancing this past year with a couple of my friends and their wives and Dolo. We getting ready to put together a group too. Manny and his girl, Jarrell M. Samaji. DJ Kemet, on the west side, always holding it down. Playing that old 70s, 80s funk, rare grooves, and of course the beautiful sounds of today in 2025, the Afro beats. Love what they're doing with that. So yeah, dancing. You can't go wrong with dancing. If you're with a woman or a man that don't like dancing, it's one thing to not be able to dance. Everybody can't dance, but everybody can two-step. So please keep your body moving, please. The other thing the centenarians talked about were laughing. Laugh. And that's why comedy, well, you don't hear much about comedy as much these days, but when we grew up, comedy was a big thing. Of course, the other thing was the centenarians didn't talk about eating vegan per se. Many of those older folks in the countries, those centenarians in those countries, ate meat, but it wasn't a majority of their diet. It was only a small portion of their plate. So you take a plate and maybe 20%, 15% of it would be meat. The rest would be some type of whole grain or vegetable. Honestly, in 24, I told myself I'm gonna go 80% fruitarian and 20%, regular food. That was my goal, but I failed. I'm not anywhere close to eating that amount, that much fruit. We all need to be eating more fruits. So yeah, basically in summary, the centenarians were talking about keeping the body moving, dancing, laughter. They talked about what they ate. And it's crazy how even gardening, it sounds like something, I don't want to sound sexist, but something that an old woman, that your mom would do, talking about gardening. But we are in 2025, and the times I've helped my wife with the gardening at our old house, we don't have nothing set up now. We'll have to get something set up. And if it's a nice warm day, you bust a sweat just like you're playing basketball or some other sport, just moving around outside or cutting the grass or edging the grass up. That's movement. That's movement. So I'll leave it at that. Just wanted to touch on the importance of health today. We'll probably touch on a few more, get into some more specifics later on in some future videos. But there's so many other people talking about that. Y'all don't need me for that. I'm like a generalist, because again, I saw a lot of baby boomers with videos, a lot of younger folks. But you don't see a lot of guys my age posting. There's one guy, I forgot his name. I wish I could shout him out. I'm gonna start learning people's name. He's very positive. I think he's 55 too, and he's talking about just things to better yourself, life hacks. So I think that's the kind of lane I'd like to be in as well. So yeah, if this sounds good to you, like, subscribe. I see everybody else saying that. I'm not sure how important that is, but everybody says that's important to the algorithm. They're saying that YouTube is also helping push new content, smaller YouTubers. So I'm super small. Prior to starting these videos, I had 21 subscribers. I just looked at my profile the other day. For never posting a video, I had 21 subscribers. So let's see if I can get to 50 or 100 and then just take it from there. But again, it's a beautiful day. Sometimes you're up and you walking around and people are just feeling you, complimenting you. And some days, looks like people are just either caught up in their own world or they're ignoring you. But yeah, another young lady came up to me earlier, back to the first part of this video, met a nice young lady, Meryl, who waved at me in the parking lot at Phipps. Then I bumped into her. She came up to me again when I was inside. And first she was very respectful. Oh, are you married? Yeah, acknowledged that. And then we just chopped it up from there, She's in communications and man, you got to get out the house, people. That's another thing. Look up hugging. There's benefits to hugging. There's benefits from being with other people in groups. So we're in a generation now, everybody sits in the house and on the computer or holding their phones. We got to get out and interact with one another. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do more of that. Let's promote that. But anyway, have a wonderful day. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Atlanta. And I just feel blessed to be alive. Every day is a blessing. I'm grateful. Sometimes you forget to be grateful. But that's it, y'all. Take care.